Hello, my dear Aries. This is your love and spirituality reading for the time between August 1st and August 15, 2017, with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I'm sorry for my voice. I have a cold, okay? So, I use the Legacy of the Divine Tarot, and I will start shuffling your cards. So, I call the Divine with love and light, and I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world, and I call the 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Aries viewer. So I want my dear Aries to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. So, my dear Aries, I also want to take the chance to tell you about the full moon with a partial lunar eclipse in Aquarius, opposing Sun and Mars in Leo, August 7. We will also have a total solar eclipse in Leo on the 21st of August. The same day, we will also have a new moon in Leo, and that will be the second new moon in Leo. The first one was the other day here on the 23rd of July. So we have a page of coins wants to show their little face. It could be a mission, it could be your inner child, it could be a person in your life that's important. This second new moon in Leo, the one on the 21st on the solar eclipse, will triangling Saturn moving retrograde in Sagittarius and Uranus moving retrograde in Aries. That's your sign. It's going to be very fiery. All the fire signs combined together. Okay, so another jumper. Yes, okay, maybe you want to show the Queen of Wands again, the Aries. The fiery queen, the one that raises the cobblings. And also the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords is about self-realization, finding out what you truly want. And to find out what you truly want, you need to be whole. So you need to find yourself first. That's the clue. Okay, so, and it will be extra fiery since we also have Mars in Leo aligned there with the moon. Venus will be in Cancer, but moving into Leo on the 26th. And then both Venus and Mars will be in Leo, so that will be the start of their they joining together. They will be very close in the fall, Venus and Mars. Mercury will start moving retrograde in Virgo August 14. And for you Aries, sorry, trying to get used to the name. For you Aries, Uranus is moving direct in Aries until its station on August 3, and thereafter it will move retrograde until January 3, 2018. So you will go into a long cycle of... Uranus is kind of the hangman, so it's really spiritual growth, but not in an easy way. Moon moves through in Aries August 11 to 13, when the moon is very close to Uranus and also conjunct Aries. Aries is the war comet. Or on the 14th of August, Uranus triangles the Sun in Leo and will triangle the Sun and the new moon in Leo on the 21st. So the day of the total solar eclipse, that will be the day of the total solar eclipse, sorry for my... Okay, on that day, Uranus will also start squaring Venus and will continue doing so until the 28th of August. And the triangling with the Sun will also involve Mars in Leo, August 25th, and Mercury moving retrograde in Virgo. So that triangling to the Sun, it will end on August 29, but the triangling to Mars will go on to September 11, and the one to Mercury will end September 13. Mercury will start moving direct again September 6, so you will opposing your Uranus will oppose Mercury during the whole retrograde, almost, because the retrograde starts at August 14. On the 23rd of August, Uranus will start opposing Jupiter. That opposition will continue until October 28. And it's a rather important opposition. Jupiter will make everything bigger with this self-growth that Aries will go through. Okay, so exciting. I will tune in for a few seconds, okay? So, my dear Aries, this is your future, and this is your now, and this is the past. So the past is probably July. If it's major arcana cards there, it will stretch over a bigger amount of time. Not because major arcana cards talks about bigger amounts of time, but it's they are talking about bigger events, and they usually take more time. And this is the first half of August 2017. But whenever you watch this, is probably the exact right time to see it. If you don't really recognize yourself, you can go back a couple of times during the period to check it out again, because water time will have run underneath the bridge, and events might have unfold that make this clearer, what's going on here. And Tarot is forecast. It's there to make you have some see things in the future, so you can change them if you want to, because sometimes this now and future here will show you destined times, destined things that you can actually change with your own actions. And you can also find shortcuts, like instead of going in the merry-go-round one lap more, what is it that you need to learn, so you can pick that up more quickly. But things will anyway happen in divine timing, but you can make it easy for yourself, and also be a pre-runner, like a person that already knows, and therefore you are kind of opening the floodgates for the people that don't know. Its knowledge is spreading through the web of creation, so when you know a stuff, it will spread like rings on water, but it's in this web of creation, because we're all very entangled. You can see this with Toro. How can I know what's going on in people's lives that I don't know you, but I don't have to, because the grid is kind of calculating everything. And here we have the future. That will probably be the last part of August 2017. But if you since it is destined things that will be here, the things that's more up to your free will won't probably not show, because we can only precast or forecast destined things that will happen due to astrology, sorry. And so this will be probably that part of August, but it might stretch in up to 3 months into time. Okay, so this is the first card for you, Aries, and it's the Three of Wands. I think Libra had this also in, no, sorry, not Libra, Aquarius had this in their beginning, Three of Wands. And we have actually some connection that will come in with Aquarius and fire signs, because fire signs is connected, air signs are connected. So if you don't really resonate with your own sign, you can check the other fire sign, and if you have, you can also check your moon and rising and Venus and Mars if you're going to business. And this Three of Wands is actually about business usually. It's about contracts, making contracts, or that you have a dream of a ship coming in with something to you, like being a merchandiser, exchanging goods and earning money on this. So there might be some contract that's about to be written, but those contracts is also talking about the new moons and eclipses, because the eclipses is about endings and new beginnings, and the new moon in Leo twice is emphasizing this. So you might be writing new soul contracts during this time. So be very careful with losing yourself this time. Try to be really aware because you are going to affect your lifetime for like decades to come with this energy that's right now. But this is in July, and Three of Wands is talking about communication. It's talking about yes, making these agreements, and also about not doing so much of a compromise. Because if you want your dream to fulfill, you can't just settle for something that's not going to feel like your dream is fulfilling. So the Three of Wands is about being a little bit strong with what you actually want, and see what that will take you. Not too strong, because you can, when you're going into negotiation, you want to know what you can negotiate with and what you can't. So you might need to put the bar a little bit higher than you actually wanted to end up in if you're going into some negotiation. It doesn't have to be in business. It can be in love as well, and it can be in families. You don't want to keep your old role. You want to have a new one, and you have decided upon how that will look like. So if you want that role, you need to start to kind of make people used to that idea that you want something else. You have a bigger dream. So in July, it might be a lot of communication going on, maybe also overseas, or maybe you have started internet dating or something like this. And here you have a Page of Swords. So it might be an air sign, because I said Aquarius in the beginning. It doesn't have to be Aquarius. It can be any air sign. It can also be you. But there might be an important air sign in your life that wants to communicate with you, wants to negotiate with you. The Page of Swords is a little bit like an orphan child. They are not really trusting in others. So they might put the bar really high when it comes to negotiation, because they don't trust other people. So it might be that they are telling you something that's not really true, and not in a way that they want to be deceptive, but because they want to protect themselves, having this little orphan child inside of them, not trusting that other people will do good. So you might have to in some way prove yourself, not by laying yourself flat on the floor and putting your nose down in the borders, but the planks or whatever its names, but rather to show yourself very emotionally mature and calm and cool and trustworthy. So it's more about becoming a grown-up and having some borders, because this is a child. So it needs strict structures, and you are Aries, so you have the Emperor. That's very strict structures that you can give to this person that you are in negotiation with. And this can be your inner child as well, because what you have on the outside is probably mirrored with something that you have on the inside. So you might have an inner child that doesn't trust other people, or wants to have like safety borders that stretch for miles. So you won't have people close to you. So you might check that out as well. And here you have a beautiful 10 of Cups. So it seems like this Page of Swords might be a person in your family, maybe a child or a younger person, or a person acting really young. It might be like a person that's 60 years and 30 years older than you, but still acting a little bit juvenile, like the Page of Swords here. But the loving connection seems to be very strong, and it's we have the feminine aspect here and the masculine aspect. They are domesticated. Usually the feminine aspect is big predator cats, and masculine aspect is wolves. Maybe even bears, not beers, sorry, bears. I hope I pronounced that right. Okay, so it's a fire here, and it's Mars in Pisces, so it's about masculine, the masculine side of love, because we often see in movies and so on that it's often the feminine that wants to have this love and marriage and beautiful things and children and everything, and the masculine is like, well, I don't want to, I want to be free. Sorry, I had to cough. But here it's like the masculine, this masculine entity is the one that wants this relationship. And it means that it's almost like someone has capitulated and given up and said, okay, so I want this, I admit. Because the Page of Swords, being an orphan and all, might have given up on this negotiation, or maybe they have gave you right in this negotiation, or they have asked you to choose what to be here. So with the Ten of Cups, even if you're far apart or maybe not talking because of the Two of Swords here, love is still there. So for those of you wondering about the past love that might have acted a little bit juvenile, they still loved you in July anyway. Sorry for the August thing, was almost slipping out, but it might mean that they will still continue doing so in August. And the next card is the Strength. So this is probably the feminine aspect of this. It might be the masculine energy that have taken in this feminine energy as well, becoming the stronger person, not obeying the rules anymore, but following their basic instincts and caving into their own lust and their own intuition, because this is a person following their body. They are listening to their body, they are listening to their intuition, they are listening to their instincts, because they know that this is the old connection that we once lost. I think a lot of you have been, you were looking at this movie Avatar that came probably more than a few years ago. My timeline is sometimes very abstracted, but it was this beautiful place on another planet where they still had this grid intact, like we had before the fall out of paradise, where we still could connect with the animals. And the felines, they can still do this. The women can still do this. The men that have their connection with their feminine side can still do this. So we haven't forgotten all our language with telepathy or talking with animals, or knowing what's going to happen, because in Egyptian religion we had the gods here, the animals here, and the humans here, because the animals still had this connection. They knew when the Nile was going to overflow, or when it's going to be an earthquake, or if it's going to be cold winter or not. Humans didn't, so that made humans see that they were beneath the animals, and that was why they put animals as gods, because it was very crucial for their survival to be able to listen to the animal realms, to know what the god was intended to do, because they needed to know how much the Nile was going to overflow, and other things that were really important for their survival in an environment where I think Egypt was a bigger part of Africa, and that it was pushed towards the Nile because of climate changes. So they become rather obsessed with reading the signs of nature to survive, and they were really good at it because their kingdom lasted for 4,000 years. We don't have any kind of kingdom of earth after that has stood fast nearly as long, okay? The Ten of Cups and the Strength is talking about someone trying to be the bigger person. And we see here, if you are big and strong, if you are the one in power, you need to be nice. And we can see on these funny cat and dog movies on the internet that a cat is ruling the dog, even though the dog could bite its head off. And it's because they have this kind of power, like the belief in themselves, the trust in themselves, the self-love that Aries also have, because you are, what I said, the Queen of Wands, the one that raises those cubblings, those leopard or tiger or leon cubblings. You are the one that's going to raise the next generation of strong people, being able to listen to their own intuition and following the voice of God, the gods or the divine, by listening to yourself, your own temple, not going through authority, but going through yourself. So I think it's like a childlike energy, or a very young masculine energy that's starting to follow this, to cave to this, to also think that this is a good idea, to see that, well, maybe I don't have all the answers, maybe I need to check deeper into myself. And that's very good news for the Page of Swords, because they lost their own intuition when they started to distrust themselves and distrust grown-ups, because the air people, they have really good connection with the divine through their thoughts and through their keen intuition. They are very highly vibrating. So due to this, when you come down as a child, you don't have authority. In other cultures, like native cultures, sometimes the children have a lot more authority than in a Western civilization, because in the Western civilization, we still rest upon the foundation of old 1800 science, like old science. I know you have different with centuries. When I'm talking about the 1800s, I really mean the 1800s. I don't mean the 1900th century. I mean like 1867, okay? So with the Page of Swords, anyway, it's this, that the children are the latest download from the universe. But in Western civilization, we don't really recognize this, and we think that children are like a blank space until they grow up and you can actually talk with them. But it's not like this. They have a lot of knowing, and you will hear the truth from lunatics and children, or drunks. So. But this Page of Swords was let down early age, because no one did really listen to their wise words. So it might be you, this. And here you have an 8 of Swords. So it comes with this 8 strength. So we see there's an air energy involved in this. They are kind of wobbling between their head and their heart. Their head and their body, what they have learned from society, other people's opinion of them, and how they should restrict their body, and how they should blindfold themselves, and how they don't. This is a very free female body, and this is a very restricted female body. So it's two different ways, very different ways. And I think, Aries, you can teach other people how to go your way, how to follow your instincts and your body. I know many Aries, since you being the head and all, are sometimes a lot in your head. So it might be an inner conflict within you, where you are kind of sometimes very much yourself, and sometimes you're too much in your head and thinking, what will people think, or what is it I need to adapt to? I need to follow what I have learned. I need to follow the laws. I need to follow my culture tradition. I need to follow what my family says, because I want to be with them. But I think you are, in July, you are in a very revolutionary aspect that's becoming like your soul's revolution. So this is kind of fading away. To listen to others is very good. You don't want to hurt their feelings. You don't want to make people feel like they're not worthless, or that you don't listen to their advices. But first and foremost, you need to learn to listen to yourself before in other case you won't be able to, like this little child, determined what's right and what's wrong, because they thought they knew what was right, but grown-ups say, no, it wasn't like this. And it was, because the Page of Swords has very keen intuition. So they probably knew exactly, they might have had information from past lifetimes that the grown-ups didn't listen to. Or they might have had information about the grown-ups' actually relationship between each other that the grown-ups didn't want to listen to, and so on. So now it's about to reconnect to your inner child and your inner wisdom, and not listen so much to other people, because if you do, you will be distracted with this, and then you won't find this, because it's like you're trying to find a connection between the feminine and the masculine again. It's like you're trying to find, the masculine has been in rule for a long time, and we have kind of lost the feminine. In Western cultures, we at least had like Mary, both Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Jesus. But when the well, Martin Luther King and not the later one came, they changed religion into not having any female entity at all. It was like sterile. Now the feminine is coming back into its rightful position, and therefore when we listen to our body, we are listening to our intuition, we are listening to our instincts, we are listening to kind of God. So this is your own temple, this thing where you can feel your own body and your own body heat, and it's the flower of life here. It's like a bridge, and here you have the stove, having the same kind of symbolism, that you want to reconnect with your deeper self, because that is love. When you find yourself, you find love, because they are the same, and you are going to feel connected again. The masculine and the feminine will reconnect, but you will also reconnect with the divine. It's like you have been an astronaut lost in space, and not being able to reconnect with ground control, because you listened to the situation in which you were too much, like the outside, do this, try this. You didn't listen to yourself and your own instincts, being entangled like this. And of course this will happen on your inside, but it will also go on probably on your outside. So you might have an outside person that you have really trouble to connect with. Sometimes it's going really well, and they are giving you everything, and the next day they are silent, and it's like they are alienating themselves from you, or you are alienating yourself from them. It might be like this as well. Okay, so the next line of cards will be for the now, and here we have a Four of Swords. So with the Four of Swords, it seems like you're definitely dealing with an air sign, and in this case it's Libra. This is Gemini, and this is pure air, so it could be anyone, but Aquarius had the same card, this one. So Three of Wands and Four of Swords is two different ways to approach a situation. Three of Wands is at least trying to negotiate and really tell people what it is that you want. The Four of Swords doesn't tell crap. They don't tell you anything. So it's silence. And we can see the raven, it's instead of a ship coming in, it's death, it's giving up. So I think you or some person in your life might have fallen into a little bit of a depression. You see the moon is coming in here, it's like a funeral scene. So you try to maybe talk very truthfully with a person, or they try to talk very truthfully with you, but one of you didn't listen. And you just saw, well, end and death and destruction, and yes, giving up and feeling like there's no idea. It's no idea. I'm giving up. Both the Eight of Swords and the Four of Swords is giving up to forces that's higher than yourself. With the Four of Swords is actually that you might need this time of rest to be able to withdraw a little bit from those swords pointing towards you, but instead you are resting on the swords pointing downwards. So it's like you're accepting someone else's truth, because Libra want to be diplomatic. So you might want to be diplomatic. You don't want to cause, you have a dream, but you don't want to cause people pain because of this dream. So you might stay in a stupid situation even though you want to get out of there. Or if someone says that they want to fulfill a dream, you think automatically that you are not part of that dream because of low self-esteem, or thinking that, well, okay, so I step down, I decline, I won't be a part of this anymore. Four of Swords is definitely, it's like having a truce between two warrior tribes, but one part of it's still like no one is getting what they want. Okay, no one is getting what they want, and it's because someone is acting like a little bit of a martyr. Okay, this is a martyr. They are levitating, so they might have a right to call themselves saints and martyrs, but still they have been giving up. They think that the pressure was too much, or what you asked of them was too much. So it might be a business partner retracting from a business deal, or detached themselves, silent treatment, manipulation, like passive aggressiveness, and threatening people with silence, or it's a little bit, it's both martyr, but it might be a little bit like covert narcissism as well. So you can check that out if you have a troublesome person in your life that seems to act with the rules, but really they are trying to manipulate you or hurt you. Covert narcissism. So, but mainly they are hurting themselves, of course, and it's because of an old injury. So I will see what it is. Six of Wands. Okay, so don't mind that so much. It's like an old thing that has like a kind of momentum. You have been fearful of showing your true face because you didn't want to be judged. You didn't want to be cast out in the cold. You didn't want to be rejected. You wanted people around you. But here we see that you are in victory. This is Jupiter, Leo and Jupiter. And a white horse, known feelings, known instincts. Horse is very instinctual, but yet they can be very brave and put themselves in this situation if they have to. If they have this compassion that makes them sometimes rise above their own instincts, just to deal with the situation in a gracious way. And here it's Neptune also being held high. And we saw Pisces here. We have actually Neptune in Pisces right now. So about following your emotions and following your own body's instincts. Your own soul has gone down in the body. So even if people are, it's like still this momentum of people acting a little bit like freezing you out or using silent treatment or trying to manipulate you into being in the way you were before, because they don't want you to get in control. But this is you going into total control of yourself. So you're now just deciding that, well, I was right from the beginning, from the day I was born, and I'm still right, okay? So I'm still on top. I still know what I want for me, okay? So it's not about ruling other people, or putting yourself on your high horses to rule others. It's about becoming yourself, and the one that wants to follow you, they will follow you. And that ones that don't want to follow you, you will separate, and they will go their merry way with like being entangled in not knowing themselves and not following their own instincts and everything. So let them do that. You won't go that road anymore. You will listen to yourself, even in high resistance, but because in the end you will be victorious, okay? They won't be, you will leave maybe this silent treatment situation and go into victory on your own, because you will be so full of this energy where you love yourself, you see, like this. Loving yourself, being so strong and feeling that you have God on your side, and she wouldn't have brought you to the world as you were if she didn't want you this way, okay? So the next card, really central, is the Five of Wands. So this is a healthy sign, okay? We don't like this situation when we are in opponent with others, but when we are in opponent with others, we are actually learning from one another, because we have totally different ways of seeing things. So if you learn to see things their way and they learn to see things your way, you have really experienced something beautiful, and you have learned something that actually makes you expand like a soul. So it's like the Big Bang. First Big Bang was a little bit like a dot, and it had no experience. It was like a pure God essence. And then it experienced something. It was like when a child or when a cell parted itself in two. So 2 cells, pang, it's like boom. Okay, and then 4 cells, boom, 8, boom, 16, boom, 32, boom. So it will go on like this. And that's the flower of life that you have here. If you search on secret geometry on YouTube, if you're interested in this thing, you can see more about this. And this is how we are evolving, okay? By experiencing, by growing exponential, okay? And you're doing so by meeting like if you have, imagine a big sun, that's the egg of the female body, and there comes like sperms, much like this actually, but these are swords. And if we imagine that this strength, like the feline creature here, the feminine creature here, would have been non-restrained, but being like the big Jupiter or a big sun, and the sperms are coming. So that's the need, the two, to make this experience, to make this big bang happening. So you need to be, and the feline, you can see this on, if you look really closely at conception, you will see that there's not this race, because there are sperms all around, like sun's rays from this big egg, and it's like the feminine is just inviting in one of the sperms. It's just saying, okay, you are the one. So you have found your one, and it's like a war, because you need to experience new stuff. You need to experience things that making you expand and see beyond your horizon. And 8 is like 8. It's eternity symbol. It's continuation. It's something that you have worked on for a long time, and it seems like it's not over. 6, 5 of Wands. You have the 3 of Wands also. You try to negotiate in a very beautiful way. Here you still stand tall, even if the other one didn't want to negotiate at all. Maybe it was like silent treatment or cut off communication, or just like a relationship going flatline, or a business deal going flatline. But here with the 5 of Wands, the essence of this is still like the war is still on. It's still things going on underneath the surface that hasn't been dealt with. And the only reason for this war is this expansion. It's God wants to experience itself. It wants to see itself from every different angle. So you need to have been everything, like a crippled person and a person hating crippled person. And you need to be a warrior and a peace negotiator. You need to have seen everything from all different sides. And this is going to make this new experience. The 5 of Wands is like the Temperance card, but in its minor arcana shape and form. This is how it looks from our point of view. It's a tree arguing with itself, so you can imagine it's people that has common roots, common karma, maybe common ancestry, bloodlines, blood related, or being in the same company. So people that should be like working along just fine don't, because they have totally 2 different ways of looking at a thing. So if you want to expand, know your enemy, because they probably have the piece of the puzzle that you that's yours, so you can expand with this. If you know their way of seeing things, you will know a bigger part of the truth. So here we have the Devil, and it comes underneath the Strength card. So this is why we have feared the body so much, because it's like it can be overindulgent. It can be too much. It can be homewreckers, or people not being able to tame their sexual energy. This is lust, and this is the devil. So going outside a marriage and being with other people. But this is still expansion. It's sad, and it's sometimes very painful, because there might be like a secret going on. People don't want to tell you what's really going on underneath the surface. They instead choose to be quiet. When a person is very quiet like this, it's usually because they have a secret. And I think the fiery part of this is kind of tired on these secrets. So you might think, to hell with it. So I feel like I have been banging against a wall, trying to get attention, trying to get communication, and there's non-communication. So I will go after what my body needs, what I need for myself. I won't care about trying to wake up the dead anymore, or kicking on a dead horse that won't ever rise again. So it's like something being stillborn, you know, this beautiful thing that wants to happen here. You wanted it to happen. This new, the Big Bang, the new universe that you were about to create with someone else. It's like you are deciding to hell with it, because it's like you were alone to make this. It's something we're stillborn. You can see it's kind of dead, and I think it's always like this. We take one part of the story. So sometimes it will be Aries that has been acting like this and making the situation stillborn, and sometimes it will be the other part, probably an air sign. I see water here, but in other case, and we have Capricorn there, Leo, so probably Aries in all those cards, and it's fiery here as well. So it's probably an air fire thing, and it doesn't mean that excluding other star sign. It just means that it's very fiery, like a very temperamental thing, a war, a clashing of titans going on in your life, and you decide to take the sneaky way out. And it's good, actually. It's probably what you need. If you are not getting anywhere in the communication or the negotiation with another party, well, go your own way. And maybe you need to do some more, like, it's like having a life without rules. And I'm not meaning killing people. I'm meaning like having maybe sex with many different partners. Or just deciding that whatever you thought were bad before is not bad anymore. You decide that, well, I don't care. I will do whatever it takes to make me happy. And it's actually like you're integrating the shadow. We saw the Six of Swords coming out with you when I shuffled the cards. So this is going down and meeting the devil. So you're doing it literally. And here you have a Two of Swords. So see if I care. Oh, God. Two of Swords is, again, it's Libra symbol here. It's two very different energies. One is, it might be a person with two personalities. That might be why you don't really know them. That's why it's a secret, because a person might really be addicted to you and really hate that you are being gone. But they are not going to show. It's like a flat line. They are not going to show. They are not going to lose their face. They are not going to lose their mask. And in reality, they are super jealous. That might be one thing that's going on here with you, Aries. But still, they are going to act like they don't care, because they have learned a certain way to live their lives. By holding up a mask, by acting like everything is cool, by having this, being the master of their own universe. And they don't want to have like a little, even a glitch being seen of their true personality. So you might be with a person that acts really sweet but have a devil inside. Or you might be with a person that act very aloof, but have very strong feelings and passions and angers inside of them. Maybe even love, because the devil is cornered with this 10 of Cups here. But mostly it's anger and a lot of lust and like following your instincts, wants to beat someone up maybe. So, okay. So it's shifting. Sometimes it's like you keeping a level head, and sometimes you're really angry. Or this is two people. Okay, so you need to be diplomatic maybe. If you have an inner child that has been repressed for your whole life, it's going to come up and it's going to be angry. But you have the strength here, so it's actually talking about rising above, to just take the information, but not really burning up the world because the information that you get. You can get the information, my inner child is angry. I am really fed up with this situation. So you will just say very diplomatically in this war here, I'm fed up. I had it up to here. So you don't have to scream, you don't have to shout, you don't have to break things. Sometimes you might need to do this because it's a lot of fire here. So, but to keep the violence on a 0 level is always very good. But to say the words that the Page of Swords really feels or really wants to say, because they have been kind of silenced with the Two of Swords. It's like a continuation. Well, I know everything, but I won't tell because people are not listening anyway. So it's like this. And so the key is to start listening to your inside and voicing your inside's concern, open in daylight, even to people that really show you that you are not welcome to say things to them because they don't want to hear or they don't want to speak to you. It's about asking questions as well, about not just taking like a silent for an answer and thinking that people agree with you. They probably don't. They just keep silence because they don't want you to know the truth. Because if you knew the truth, you might have done this revolution like years ago. Okay, so that was your now. Very two different energies, and you need to make them come together to have this new universe expanding. Okay, so Ace of Coins, that's a new chance for some of you, or a new beginning. And it might be a new beginning. Maybe there will be, maybe you will win this war with the silent treatment, and there will be a new chance. It's paradise gates being open, so you decide what's going to be behind there. If you want to stick to an old situation and sort it out, or if you want a totally new situation, like a new work, new relationship, new friends, new circumstances. This is embryo, so it's kind of like that egg again, waiting for the sperm to come, and because this is just an egg, if it won't be fertilized, nothing will happen. It's a chance that you are being given, or someone is giving to you, but you need to take the chance to get fertilized. It doesn't, if in other case there will be like the egg will drop, and there will maybe come a new chance later on. And here we have a Five of Cups. So it seems like you are very upset with this new chance. You don't want it at all. You are not trusting it, and you think that it's going to be the same old, same old. Okay, so go with this. This is your feeling. If you feel like this, you go with this. So you don't have to take every chance that comes along. You can let it pass. In other case, you would have, if you're a feminine person, you might have had like 20 kids by now if you didn't pass chances. So it's okay if you don't feel like you're trusting another person or another situation, because they hurt you a great deal with this silent treatment. And it was like a continuation of the hurt that you might have felt when you were a small child. So it's a time to be victorious. It's a time to listen to yourself. So if this is how you feel, don't mind dropped chances. And here you have a Six of Cups. So Six of Cups is talking about reconciliation. So I think it will be a reconciliation. Someone won't give up, because you have the Three of Wands, Six of Wands, Six of Cups. It's talking about communication and making things work and actually getting this conception. And it's children here again. So I think with you staying in your victorious mode and continue not just being grateful for a new opportunity, but actually standing your ground with what you had here from the first place, what you really did want with your life, that is going to heal you. So this new chance is actually like a band-aid to your inner child that once was hurt. And when you say no, because you, or whatever you need to do, you don't have to say no. 5, 5, 8, the strength. You are listening to your own inner conflicts, and you are deciding. You listen to your body and you decide to say yes or no or whatever. But whatever you decide, if you do it from what you have learned, what you have experienced from this war going on, and from what you have experienced of being hurt before, and you take a better decision, that is actually a Six of Cups. It's a new chance of healing your inner child. You might be like over and done with this big 8 cycle if you actually listen to what you really, really need, and not what you think that you need to do, because in other case you will be punished and lost in space and not have anyone to connect to, and you will feel like your life is over. So this is the law of repulsion, I would say. When you say no to things you don't want with great stamina, universe will know. It's like a sign that I think more highly of myself than this, so I'm saying no to this cheesy deal, because it's beyond me. It's beneath me. Sorry. And 5, 5. that's really conflict between someone. And 6-6, you want harmony. So if someone wants to connect with you and make new drama in your life, you're going to say, no, I don't want to. And that is going to heal your inner child. And that is going to make the feminine and the masculine inside of you come together. Because the feminine still knows what it wants. And the masculine is going to protect that idea inside of you. So it's like this. When you protect your own ideas and you don't go into cheesy, like, bad bargains, you're standing your ground, you're deciding that what you want is aligned with the heavens, then you are going to heal. So that's very beautiful. You might get a second chance just to be able to say, to just know that you won, that you got the upper hand, that you were... so this is a chance for healing, just because someone is coming maybe and saying that they're sorry. Okay, and here we have the Empress, and it comes underneath the Strength and the Devil, and yes, the Empress. So it's very feminine here. It's like the old religions that were banned because it was the big dragon and it would swallow the whole world. And I agree that shamanistic religions might be sometimes very... they can be a little bit yucky with all some like blood rituals and other things that might have been going on in the feminine eras, maybe sacrificing people, things like this, because the Empress has this black and white side, like giving birth and taking lives. So this was practiced when we were in the feminine age. So there was a reason for the masculine to fear this, and kind of we have, in Sweden we have someone called the Saint Göran. He was killing the dragon, okay? So we have this myth all over the Western world about killing the dragon, and it was the feminine here, the strength, the lust, to listen to your own... like the God inside of you, having power animals, maybe having sexual rituals whenever there was a full moon and stuff like this. So the civilized world thought like this is a little bit yucky, and we will not do this anymore. But this is a return, not to the blood rituals and everything, but to your body being a temple, to deciding that you know inside you, like instinctual, what you want and what you don't want. So you're going to listen to that heart, and instead of listen to the threats that might be, if you're following your own intuition, if you're following your own road, leaving partners or friends behind, you're going to end up alone. You're not listening to this. You're thinking that you're worth more. That's what I was trying to say. You're worth more. You're not afraid of your own inner strength. You have really made it like very luscious in your life. You're using this to also heal your inner child and save it out from conflict and drama that you don't want anymore. So it's this arch here, the connection that's been made. And for those of you that don't want to get pregnant, you might need to use precautions. Okay, and we have a 3 of coins here. So the non-talking, the non-talking is turning into talking. So some kind of negotiation and healing plan, like plan for how to heal this, how to go on into the future. So don't forget this plan. It's needed. You can't just let people, you being so happy that they are back, that you just go on with whatever they say or don't say. There needs to be a plan this time, so don't sell yourself short. This feminine side that wants to birth forth new things. You don't want another stillborn going on here. So 3 of Coins is a very good card about healing, mastering, doing things in a better way, trying new things, trying things in a new and improved way, and actually cooperating. Riders White, it's actually 2 people that either talking about the structure being built or getting married. So it's about cooperation together, not alone. So very nice reading for you, Aries. You have the divine on your side, and it's because of all this fire, of course, but also because of the really hard work that you have been doing. Aries reading have been a little harsh, like heaven have been a little strict on you, but now they are saying, well, you are doing everything just fine. So they are happy with you. Oh, so I will take a card for your past. We have Justice here. It's from the Mary L. Tarot by Mary White. And here we have the Justice. So that's again Libra. So justice is really important in your relationship. Don't let people take power over you by manipulating you into doing things in their way. Don't let yourself be manipulated. You know what you want. Give justice to yourself. It's time to give your little inner child justice as well. So very good card. It's promising help. And for you cross-watching for Aries, it's often like this, that the one that watches tarot is the one that has the greatest like problems with the relationship. I think this person, like trying to be aloof and just being the master of control, won't have so much problem with this relationship. So they won't even check my readings. So that person, that Aries person, might be a jerk, but most Aries people aren't. It's like we are choosing to go down either as jerk or as victims, and now we are going to both become like whole, and there's going to be balance, justice, connection. So we are unifying, we are evolving. So it's very beautiful. But the stupid people were there for us to see ourselves, so we can really be thankful for what they have been doing. Okay, so not only you are being manipulated by your partner, presumably, you're also being manipulated by the divine, but they are actually helping you. They are trying to make some kind of peace. They are trying to make you go maybe through all those doorways, passages. I think I will have to check this card out, because it's... usually I just use my intuition, but maybe there's something here. Assistance, help, support. I felt a tug. You must be at the end of your rope. So it's like you're being very protected, Aries. We have trained and we have studied. We have fallen and picked ourselves up to try yet again. Certainly progress has been made with each effort and each attempt. But sometimes, despite it all, we have to acknowledge the reality that we can't do it entirely on our own. In this imagery, the white doves are visual metaphors for helping hands. The physical support they provide here might take the form of emotional encouragement, financial assistance, or expert advice based on knowledge or previous experience. The challenge now is to achieve a balance, to offer help but not reliance. Yes, okay, so balance again. But this... you might feel orchestrated, like you want to leave a situation and you might feel like there's not the time because you get a lot of signs as well. So that might be for some of you. But balance and being supported. You are so helped during this time, Aries. So thank you for sharing this journey with me. And I hope that you will join me again in the middle of August. Okay, bye.